In order to make the flyers, you have to go on omnycomm.com, and by default, you will come on the product section. So we have the flyer section that you can see on the left hand side here. But before I show you how the flyer section works, how we can actually make a flyer, I want to tell you a little bit about the products that you see here in front of you and how they sync with flyers. First and foremost, we're seeing about 13,203 products that are listed here. Now, all of you will not have access to all the brands. In your case, you might have access to a single brand or multiple brands. So, GPass, you could have access to just GPass or GPass and Royal Ford, or just Royal Ford or Olsen Mark, Del Casa, and so on and so forth. So you will have access to these brands, and only those account of products will show. So it could be 1,000 in your case or 2,000 in your case, depending on how many brands you have access to. Now, all of these products that you see are synced with flyers. That means that our graphics team, what they usually have to do for products is, let me show you by example. Now, for this product, we have images that look like this. Now, they have images for products across Dropbox and Google Drive, and their hard drives, or external hard drives. So these images are scattered all over the places, and they have to, when they open it up on Photoshop, then they have to open up the folder, find the image, and then add it to Photoshop. So that effort has doesn't have to be done anymore, because all of these products and its images are synced with the flyer section, and you'll see how in just a bit. Now I'm going to go to the flyer section, and over here you will see that there are already a set of flyers that are made. Now, when you see a flyer image like this versus this is when there is no image for the flyer that the system is detected, and that's why it's showing you an empty image. Whereas for this, we have a saved flyer and the image is showing correctly. So if you scroll down, you will see that our list becomes better, and we actually have flyers that have been made by the company itself. And then there is, so this is the image of the flyer, and then there is its title as well that is given by the user. So let's learn first how to make a flyer from scratch. So in order to make the flyer, you always have this fab button or the add button that is hovering as you scroll up and down. It'll always be there with you. So all you have to do is click on it. And when you do that, there's a dialog opens where you have to type the name of the flyer. So in this case, I'm going to type a relevant name. So in most cases, you have to know that you have to give um, a name, a name that you can remember, a name that you can easily search on the search bar right here. So if you're searching for a flyer name, it should be able to give you the result instantly. So always ensure that you give the right name and follow a convention. So for instance, if I'm making for a flyer for a customer, let's call it customer 2, and this is a flyer that's been made by me, so I'm going to put my name to it. So by doing this, I've written the name of the customer who it's made for, and I've written my name as well. Now, the reason that you have to write your name, or maybe some sort of identity that you have to give yourself, is because all the flyers that the company has made is accessible here. So you would want to put your name with it, because you would want to recognize the flyers made by you. And secondly, you should always give your customer's name, or the purpose of, or the name, a relevant name for the flyer itself, so that you can remember it easily. So remember that, please. Then you have to choose the brand that you have to make the flyer for. So I'm going to choose GPass. Now, this brand information that I enter here is really important, because when I'm in the flyer section, we have a search bar, and in the search bar, it will only search through GPass's products, because this is a flyer that is being made for GPass. So if you have access to, say, GPass, Royal Ford, and Del Casa, and if you've selected GPass, then it will only when you're searching for products, it will only search through GPass's products. So we just make the work a lot easier for you in that sense, rather than just showing you results across for products across different brands. Then you have to decide on whether you're going to make a flyer from scratch, or you're going to upload an Excel with products in it. So these are the two features that we have for flyers. in create empty, you're starting with a blank slate and you have to make a flyer from scratch. This is something that I will be showing you so that you understand how to make a flyer um, perfectly. And then when it comes to bulk uploading in Excel, if you have a list of products, then you can bulk upload the Excel, and your products will auto populate on the flyer itself, on the flyer itself, and a lot of the work will be done for you. So if you remember my presentation yesterday, I spoke about two types of flyers that you can make. When you make a flyer from scratch, it would take you under 15 minutes to make it, and if you do a bulk upload of products for the flyer, it can be done in under 5 minutes, which is quite incredible. So for this particular tutorial, we'll be going with creating a flyer from scratch. And I'm going to be making, let's see, uh, I'll be making one of the flyers. So I'll be making this flyer just to be specific. So there are around 10 products on this flyer, so about 6 and 4 products here. So I'm going to type the number of products that I'll be making the flyer for. And then I have to decide how many columns per row I want. So columns per row is nothing but I have 10 products and how many columns do I want? So this is one column, and this is the second column, and this is the third column. So I'm going to define this as 3 columns right here. And then you have container height. So by default, we give you a medium size, but then there is small size and very long size. In this case, I suggest that you start with medium because the size is optimum. It fits really well in the canvas as well, and you can easily expand and contract the containers as per your liking. You'll see that in just a sec. And then I have to select what sort of template I want. Do I want an A4 portrait, landscape, A5 portrait, or landscape? We haven't given the option for doing it on A3 because if you make it on A4 portrait or landscape, then the same print can be taken for A3 as well, and it actually works. So just go ahead and hit the create button. Before we do that, let's just summarize this particular dialogue since it's important. We have to give a relevant name. We have to pick the right brand. We have to decide what method of development we want for the flyer. Are we starting this from scratch? Are we creating an empty flyer? Or are we going to upload an Excel? How many products are listed? If you're going to be uploading an Excel, then you don't even have to. And as long as you upload the Excel and the number of products that are listed in it will automatically list. So you don't have to give the number of products here. But if you go back to create empty, it's by default selected on 10. Then columns per row, we have 3 columns because we want to make 3 columns. And this is the height and the type of template we want to make. So we hit the create button from here. The moment you do this, there are 10 containers that are already made for you on the right hand side. So let me first give you a quick understanding of the tool itself. On the left hand side, we have the editor panel. On the right hand side, we have the previewer. And then there are a set of actions that we have at the level of the header as well. So I'll be showing you how that works. So let's discuss actually the header options here first. So if you notice, we have the home button here. If you click on the home button this way, I'm going to open in this another tab. It actually takes you back to the flyer section, which is where all your flyers are listed. If you click on the add button, I have 10 containers here. If you click on the plus button here, it'll add another container, as you can see. Now there's a delete button next to it. Now if I don't want this container, in this case I only want to make it for about like 10 products and not 11. I'm going to click on the container like this. You can have this selector, as you can see. Now the selector works on the white part, the above white part. It doesn't work here. It works here on the white part where your image is going to be located. So you click on this part and the selector goes there, and then you can hit the delete button or the dustbin button, in which case it is going to get removed, right? So let's do this for something like this. So the moment you delete it, as you can see, the flyer auto adjusts as well. We have designed it in a way where if you delete a container, then the container below it goes up automatically. So we're going to go back to adding it, and let's recreate it for this size. So if you just notice for a second, you can actually resize the flyer as per your liking. All right. So we selected the brand initially for GPass, right? So you can see that the GPass logo is here. Our default brand colors for GPass is also here. It's black in color. So we also have black. And we can also change these color settings if you want. We'll come to that in a second. So yeah, we've discussed the home button, which takes you to the flyer section. We have discussed the add button where you can add this particular container. If you want 10 products and instead of 10, you want 11, then you can hit this add button. You can also remove any container that you like. Then you have the reset button. If you click on this button, then it's going to remove all the containers in one shot, and it's going to give you a blank canvas. I'm not going to do this for the time being because I want to complete this demo with the 10 products that I have. Then we have the focus hide cursor. So you can see this particular, this is a target or cursor, whatever you want to call it. So if you click on this button, you can actually hide it. Now this is done when you want to get a final preview of the what the flyer looks like without that cursor being there. So when you click on it, it's back. And then you have this bulk action where you have you know increase height or decrease height. So when I do this, you can see that it increases height accordingly in this manner. You see that? And I can like easily fit something. So when I do that, I have like 9 products that fit perfectly on my flyer this way. So I'm not going to do that because we have 10 different we have 10 products that we want to make the flyer for. So we have the decrease height and increase height accordingly. So you can take the bulk actions on the container accordingly. Then you have the download button where once your flyer is complete, then you can download it accordingly. Now we'll start with making the flyer itself. So as I told you earlier, that all the search bar is connected to all the flyers, all the products that we have on Omnycomm itself. So we're going to be searching for GPass products here, right? So now these GPass products are connected to the GPass products that we have on the platform. So I'm just gonna like filter by brand and show you just GPass products. You see that? So we have GPass products that are being shown here in this manner. So yeah, now what I'm going to do here is I have to add about 10 products. Now let's see the products that we have to add. We have a fridge, we have a washing machine, we have AC, microwave. So let's start with that. So as soon as you type REF, RI, and refrigerator, you will be able to see the listings that populate accordingly. So this is one particular product that I can add to the product basket. But before we go about with adding products to the basket, the first thing that I want to teach you is that the best methodology for making a flyer is actually by first adjusting the canvas itself, the layouts, and getting that right. So you can let's actually do that first. So just a moment. I think this image is broken for some reason. Not sure why. Try another fridge. Yeah. Yeah, this seems to be working. Actually, both seem to be working fine. I'm not sure why it was broken at that point of time. But in most cases, you will be able to see that when you select the product, you can also see its images here. And I think this tutorial has gotten a little haywire. So I'm going to continue from the standpoint that we were talking about making a layout here first. So let's first make the layout itself. So as you can see, I have 2 long layouts. I want to get that done correctly. So let's do that. We can start by extending this in this manner. So this is going to be the height. And I have 2 products that I want to add here. One of the products, as you can see, has gone down. So I'm just going to put it here itself. So we have one product that's going to come this way. The second product also is going to extend. Now, if you, I think you can see that there's this, dotted line right under my cursor. Can you see that right here? Just below the container itself, you can see the dotted line. That dotted line tells you where exactly it's going to snap, right? So if I place it here, it's going to snap there. If I place it here, it's going to snap at that point, right? Now we have, I think, 2 products that are going to be listed here. So we're going to keep these 2 products as they are. We're just going to increase the size. You see that it's snapping again. There you go. Yeah, so it's snapping that way. And then we have the third product that's gone below because we had extended this. So you just have to replace it here. Now all your containers are made. We have about 6 products here, and we have the other 4 here. Now all you have to do is add the image to the product itself. All right. So there are quite a few things that are going to happen. But now what we have to do is, once we have fixed our layout, the next thing that we will do is add products to the basket. So we've added one fridge. The second fridge was just added by me because I was referring to a broken image, but we'll add the other products correctly. So we had a washing machine. So when you type washing machine, you're going to get the washing machine here. We'll select this one. Then we have an AC and a microwave. So air conditioner. So I'm going to select this air conditioner and a microwave. So as you can see, I'm adding products to the cart. I first started with the fridge, then added a washing machine, AC, and a microwave, right? Then we have a mixer, we have a grinder, and we have a stove. So let's do that. Mixer, this one. Then we have a grinder, have a microwave, sorry, a stove. All right. And then we can add the electric rice cooker, the super blender, and a trimmer. So cooker, select this one, the first one. Um, then there was the super blender. Yeah, we have super blender here. And finally, we had the trimmer. So let's add the trimmer as well. So once you've added all the products, now what you have to do is take these products and add it to the containers that we've already defined here. So it's as simple as taking selecting a product. So you can see that it becomes purple in color on selection. You see that it becomes purple in color. So you select the product and then hit the add button. So you saw that the fridge got added in this way. Now the same way, you have to then move to the next object and add the washing machine. So moving the object is really important. If you don't move, and you have this, if you have this product selected and you don't move the cursor, then you can add literally the same product again to the same container. So always remember to move your cursor in this manner wherever you want to add the product. I'm going to enter this fridge, in fact. All right. And then we have the AC. So you click on the AC this way. Then you select the next product and then the next container and then add the microwave. Then you select the next container and move to adding the blender. So if you notice that the image is taking some time to load here, the reason for that is these images are very high in their resolution. So it takes some time. It could be an MB or 2 MB or 3. Whereas these images, they are really light. We have ensured that we have kept them as light as possible. But the images that come here are high in resolution, so that when you download them, you also get the resolution that you need. Then we have the next product, which is the grinder. So you click on grinder. See, it's based on the order that I created. It's so easy to just go about with adding, products accordingly. And I don't know if you noticed all this while, I didn't explain it earlier, but when you added the product, the title of the product that we already have automatically came here. So you don't even have to enter the title again. Then there is the cooker. So let's add the cooker. We have the super blender, and then we have the trimmer. So if you noticed that all the items have been correctly added to the flyer itself. Now this is where most of the work has been done, where you've been able to uh, like decide the sort of layout you want for the flyer and add the products accordingly. Now, the work that is remaining here is to ensure that we make it aesthetically appealing, right? Now, you can see that these images are um, going outside the container. So this is a problem for us, and we have to adjust this. So we can go about with adjusting this through the image resizer. Now, the image resizer comes in two options. One is you can resize the images for all the products at once. So it's a bulk action that you can do. You see this? So all of them get resized at once in this manner, right? So you can do that easily. Now, what I'm going to attempt to do here is I want to ensure that all the images sit perfectly inside the containers. So I'm going to get it to a point where I know that my resizing effort is going to be minimal. So I'm going to focus on this image, this product, this one, and these two. So most of my images are like most, at least I have 5 products that are going to be resized correctly. So I'm going to just increase the size a little bit. Now, for the fridge itself, I want to ensure that it's long. It can't be shown this small. So I'm going to resize this individually. I'm going to increase it by about 150%, and I've resized it accordingly. Now I'm going to do the same thing for washing machine. I've changed it. Yeah, this is the size. So now we have the washing machine and the fridge, which is resized. We're going to do the same thing with the AC. We're going to increase it a little bit, and the same thing for the oven. Now these seem to be fine, except the cooker, which is going outside the container. So we're going to decrease the size here, and this needs to be decreased just by a little bit, followed by the trimmer. Right. So we're done with resizing, and all of this now fits really well. So now we'll go about with doing certain title settings. So I want to change the font settings, all of that. So I'm going to be doing that. At this point of time, I don't see the point of showing them this number, so we don't need that. We have a side by side refrigerator, so we're going to call it that itself. And then we have the description about it. So there is line 1 and line 2 for every single product. In the line 1, we usually add the title of the product, and in the line 2 we add description, like how many liters it is, or what is the wattage, and certain details that the user needs to know. So I'm going to take all of that information and paste it here. It's 550 liters, right? So I'm going to take the refrigerator part as well and put it below, like this. So now it's nice and clean in 2 lines. Then we have this GPass brand that is showing across all the products. We already know that this flyer is for GPass, so I'm going to be removing that. We'll sorry, we'll do that in just a second. But for this product title, I have it in the Helvetica font. I can change the font to Impact or Avenir Next, or this font. It's called BBus. So we're going to change it to BBus or Frank Regular. So we have different fonts that you can choose. So I'm going to pick Frank Regular because it looks nice. I can also change the weight accordingly. I can make it bold or regular. I can increase the size of the font so that it's a lot clearer. So over here, I'm going to make it 14. And I can change the color as well of the font if I like. So we can change it based on our liking itself. I'm going to keep it black for the time being. Then we have the price box settings, because we're going to be entering the prices as well. So the price is something that we can add. So this is going to be, let's say, 2,500, and the AED part is already mentioned. And as far as the strike price is concerned, now strike price is, it's from a technical standpoint, it is a component that is on the image, so you can't just click on it. You have to right click on it in order to enable it. So just right click on that and then write down the price that you want. So this was the before price. That's about 2,750, and we're selling it for 2,500. So this is why we add the strike price here. So I'm going to remove that for the time being. Let's go back to the price box setting itself. So we had just entered the price box where we had added 2,500 as the value here. We have the AED. Now you can also adjust the price for this as well. I mean, as the font size. So you can increase it here in this manner. So I'm going to keep it 25. I want the price to be displayed as boldly as possible. Then we have the type of font that I want for it. So I'm going to go with BBAS, and I like this font size. I find this much more appealing. As far as the AED is concerned, I will also increase the size for that. So you can also increase and decrease the size for the AED. Instead of Helvetica, we'll choose maybe Avenir next. Let's go with Frank. Yeah, let's go with Frank. Frank looks good. All right, so we have that. Now we can also change the color of the price, the font color of the price here that you see. So you can change it as per your liking. I would like to keep this red. And as far as the AED is concerned, we've also given you the ability to change the font color of that as well. So you have complete independence in doing that. So we're going to keep it green. And then we can also change the color of the background, which is the box itself. So you can see the color changes accordingly. In this case, I'm going to keep it lemon yellow. And you can also change the currency from AED to INR. That's up to you. I'm going to keep it to AED itself. So the price box settings gives you the entire, autonomy of working on the price box as per your liking. I've changed the font family, the font weight. I've changed the color to red, and I've done the same thing for the currency as well. Then I've done that. I've also added a different color for the box background. I've changed it from like really yellow to light yellow. Now I can resize the blocks because this space that I'm using here is excessive. I don't need to do this for just the I mean, like, I can, I don't see why I have to use this much space. I can save much more space for adding the title here itself. So I'm going to decrease it in this manner. So you can click on the up or down arrow if you want to be, uh, if you want to have more control on it, or you can just use your mouse itself to increase or decrease it accordingly. So in this case, let's decrease it to about this size. Right. So you can go about with adding the price for all of them, and the same set of rules will apply. So if I add the price here, so this washing machine is worth 1,800, then you can do that. Just sorry about that. Let me just quit this. Right. So you can go about with adding the price in this manner, and then you have the next set of settings that you have is strike price settings. So for the strike price, if we want to increase again the font family, we have the same set of settings. We can, increase or decrease it. So let's increase it. We'll change the font to Frank, and yeah, we'll change the color as well so that maybe we can, have a lot more boldness to it. Maybe let's turn it to orange. No, I think we'll keep it black itself for the time being. No, let's keep it black itself. All right. And then if you don't want the strike price, you can like remove it entirely if you want from everywhere. So you have the ability to do that as well. Then you have header logos. Now we have the GPass brand here, but we also want to add super brands. So we can do that ISO or tagline. If you don't want super brands, you can remove super brands. You can remove the ISO part. So you can decide what you want. Now, brand, as far as the container is concerned, then you can remove this brand from the container itself. You see that? You can remove the GPass that is showing. So we don't want it, and therefore we don't need it. So we'll eliminate it for the time being. And then we have the white containers, which show in this manner. So this white container is based on the sort of background color that you want to have. So we have a background image bucket, which we'll come to in a sec. Right now, I'm going to come back to how we can remove the whiteness from the container itself in just a bit. Now we can change the header and footer settings. So you can customize the color of the header based on what you like. So I'm going to keep it black, and you can do the same for footer as well. You can even change the opacity, like you can make it transparent all the way through and through in this manner. So you can make it transparent. So we're going to go back to keeping it 100% itself. And we can do the same thing for the footer. Then we have border settings. Now we have this border. I have a silver border. if I want, I can change the color to it. So you can decide the color that you want to keep for the border. I will keep it silver, or I can remove the border entirely and just have a a flyer made without the borders itself. So you can see, you can, if I hide the cursor, this is what the flyer looks like in this manner. But we're going to keep the border because it looks nice. And then we have the promo tags. Now, for the promo tags, there are two types of tags: apply to all and apply to one. So apply to all means that the promotional tags that I have, so if I click on sale, it'll apply everywhere. You can see that. If you add combo offer, it'll change to combo offer, or WO for that matter. So it applies to all. The same thing is for warranty tags on the left hand side. It applies to all if I do this right here. So that's 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. It's changing accordingly. For the time being, I'm going to keep it none. And I'm going to decide the ones that I want to choose for. So let's say that we have combo offer for all of them. We're being generous and we want to add a combo offer to all. So we have combo offer, but then for the washing machine, the combo offer doesn't apply. So for this, we just want the promotional tag to be WO. So we can actually have just WO that is added here. We can do the same for this as well, where we have half price. So instead of combo offer here, I've added half price. So we have the ability to actually select the tag based on what we want for the individual product that we need. So we have a bulk action method for adding promotional tags. So if most of these products have combo offer, we added a combo offer, but some of them actually have different promotional tags, so we can change it. So just select on the item that you want, and then change the tag. So for this, we actually have a killer offer here. That's a bit small, so we can resize it as well. I'll show you how that's done. We'll change the warranty tags a bit here as well. So for this, we want to give a 5-year warranty tag. I think so. I clicked on the bulk action. So all of our products actually have 5 years warranty tag, whereas for the grinder we only give about 2 years. So let's change that to 2 years, and let's change this also to 2 years. So as you can see, our warranty tags have changed accordingly. Now I can resize the promotional tags, which is basically this. I can do it for all. You can see that it happens for all at once. So I'm going to keep it nice and small, like just about 38 to 40. Yeah, so this is visible and it's right. But as you can see, this killer offer that we have here is still small. That's basically because each tag is different. It's a different image type. So you have to adjust this manually. So you have your cursor placed here, and when you click on resizing the promotional tag, which is this, just increase the size, and you can increase the size individually for it. There. The same thing can be done for the warranty tags as well, where you can resize all of them together. And for some of them, you can, increase the size as well. So you can just increase the size for this. See that? So we'll keep it a little small. I think I would want this to be consistent. So we're going to keep it 36 itself. And then last thing that we can do is add a background color if we like. So over here, you can add a background color. I've added this blue color that would serve as a good background for my flyer. You can see this. You can zoom out a little bit and just get like some sort of perspective on what it looks like. Now, these white containers that you see here, if you want the item to blend with the background, then we can also give you the option for removing the white background. It's here. So in the header logos, we have an option for white containers. So you just click on this and you can actually remove it. Now, the reason that you still see image boxes is because the image itself is like that. But if your image is transparent, as in it has no white background or no background at all, then it'll blend with the background accordingly. So for the time being, I'm going to keep the white containers because it makes my image consistent. Yeah, so as you can see, my flyer is ready. I can also, I think like I'm going to change the background maybe to something else. Yeah, this works. And I can have a look without the cursor. So it looks fine. And I can also edit my footer, I think. Well, I'm actually not sure how to go about with editing the footer. Yeah, there you go. So you have to right click and select here. Yeah, you can, sorry, you just have to left click and you can select here. So I can add www.g log into gpass www.gpass.com, and I've finished the flyer. So I've customized it exactly the way I want. Now, there are rare cases where we might not have the most appropriate image, or rather, we don't have appropriate images for a product that we want to add for on in the platform itself. So what I mean by that is, you see that these products are, they're basically being synced to the products that we have on Omnycomm. But sometimes there are cases where you see this fridge, we only have one image for it, and there might be more images, but we actually don't have that image on on the platform on Omnicom basically. But we have the image in our in our computer, in our hard drives. So what you can do is, we've given you the option of clicking on this like just this external image categories. You hit the add button. You can upload a file where you can decide that, okay, this is the image that I want to add. So I'm going to take this image, and you hit upload. The moment you do that, your image is uploaded here. Now you decide where you want to insert it, and you just hit this button and it's inserted automatically. And then you can resize it the way you like. And you just have to be conscious about the fact that you've just added an image. You have to still change the title. So please change the title to what the actual product is. So call it GPass Flask, and let's call it purple color. And this is 1 liter. We'll change the price as well. So this would be sold at like 9 dirhams. And the strike price would be, say, 15. So yeah, that's how we go about with adding images. So in this case, what the reason that we actually have the external image bucket, as I'd mentioned earlier, is because sometimes we don't have the right images for the product, and you can get these images maybe from the graphics team, or if you have it in your local computer, then you can just upload it, add it, change the title, change the price, and it'll be done. Now, the reason that the price and the title didn't come correctly for it is because you're uploading an external image from your hard drive, whereas these images these images are coming from products that we have on the platform. So when you add it to the container, so when you add it, like when you take this particular product and you add it here, then this changes to the title, which is double door defrost, because it's coming from the system itself. So that's how this works. Now, once you have made the entire flyer, you just have to hit the download button, and it will download it for you. Always remember to save it. So when you click on save, it will also save the flyer completely, and the download is happening. So the reason that the download is taking time is because it's rendering a very high resolution file, um, in the best possible format. And as you can see, I have the image download. So you have to give it a couple of seconds so that it downloads. And as you can see, my flyer is ready in this manner. You see that? And it's in really high resolution. So yeah, that's how we go about with making a flyer. And what you have to remember is, you have to always save your flyer. You can download it before saving if you want, but my advice to you is save it and then download it. And we have this flyer ready for you. Now, if you go to the flyer section, you will also see that you can access this flyer right at the end here. This is the flyer that I've made, and you can see a previewer for this as well. So It really comes down to how fast you can get used to the system. Now, the standard process that we follow, and I'm going to mention that in the YouTube description as well, is first when you start making a flyer, decide how many products are going to be added, how many columns are going to be added, which brand you're going to make it for. All of those aspects that you have in the initial dialogue when you're adding a flyer, make sure that you mention that correctly. When you do that, the flyer itself gets partially created for you, and then you have to just resize the boxes. So always start with the process of resizing the boxes for the flyer, then add all the products that you want to add to your flyer, then select the product and start adding the images and the title to it, and then make all the cosmetic changes, which is, adding the price, adding the title, adding the strike price, changing the colors, all of that. Now, for most of these products, as you can see, I haven't filled this part out. This is something that you have to do yourself. I've just done it for one product, but I think you get the picture. So always remember, work on your layouts first, then add the products to the basket, add the images, make the cosmetic changes, and then save it, and then download it. And then after you are done doing that, your flyer is ready. And I assure you that this will take you lesser than 15 minutes to do, because we're very well synced with the product database that we have. We already have the images, and this flyer tool is designed so that anybody and everybody can understand it, and it is very simple and easy to use. So that's it. In the next video, we're going to cover the bulk upload feature, where you will see a flyer being generated based on an Excel that we have, and then most of your work is done. So it just takes a matter of minutes to generate it. So I'm actually very excited to show you that feature as well, and we'll take it forward in the next video. So tune in again, and thank you guys for being patient with me and learning this flyer tutorial. Adios.